Gloves Off, Tough Talk Sports Podcast with Christopher R. and Danny, talking tough on sports, martial arts, and anything in between. Danny, World Martial Arts Hall of Famer, NFL expert, and New York Football Giants fanatic. Christopher R., businessman, promoter, retired flag football athlete, and boxing aficionado. Sit down and throw down. Gloves Off, Tough Talk with Christopher R. and Danny. Gloves Off, Tough Talk Sports Podcast, presented by the See You at 6 Network.
Hello again. Thank you for joining us for another episode of See You at 6 Network, coming to you, Gloves Off, Tough Talk with Danny. Today we have a special guest, actually our sponsor, Chef Rob. He came aboard, wants to talk about a couple of things that have to do with food and Super Bowl and chicken wings. Danny, take it away.
Besides Go Giants?
Besides Go Giants.
That's what we have to introduce with everybody.
Everybody
Go
has
Giants.
to go Giants.
Doesn't matter if we're in the
As we
Super
can see,
Bowl or
Rob
not.
is a Giants fan. He's a big Giants fan.
I think that's a requirement to be on the show personally.
You know
Opinion. Not that I'm Giant out or anything.
So we were talking last week of concussions and different things that happen when you get your concussions. Danielle did a whole segment on it, which was really, really very interesting. What I want to know from you, Rob, is the different things with food. Different things. I know, Danny, you're cautious in what you eat.
I have to be clear. I have celiac disease.
Yeah.
So when I go to a Super Bowl party, for me, it's almost like I go in and go, oh, I can't eat any of this here. So when you cater for people, is that something, do you hear more about there being more conscious about nutrition with something like celiacs, or even with athletes, they've got to give you a long list of, I can't have that, but don't have that, or inflammation, things like that. How do you deal with that?
As a big time caterer, Rob, you must have to deal with that.
I actually fed a gluten-free vegan 3 meals a day, 6 days a week, 6 weeks straight. So when it comes to celiac, when it comes to allergies, I mean, personally, I've got nut allergies. So I understand. Wow. I understand the reaction. My daughter's got them. My wife's got them. So that was a very easy transition for me. So when I learned about celiac, it was okay. Let's make the best food possible using the limitations that we have provided to us. So when I cook for my wife, my daughter, myself, I know that I have to stay away from cashews, pistachios, or else we're going to have, good anaphylaxis. And anaphylaxis is filthy.
I've been there.
Oh my God.
What is it?
It's anaphylaxis is the constriction of blood vessels. You get numbness in your tongue, numbness in your face. You ever seen the movie Hitch with Will Smith?
Yes, I did.
So remember when there was that scene where he
after he eats and then he has the ear and everything. That's one level of it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing with anaphylaxis is not everyone gets hives or blows up like that. I've been in anaphylaxis, unfortunately. When I learned that I was allergic to cephalosporins, I had an IV, and I went into anaphylactic shock. I did not have any hives, nothing. But I did have the windpipe constriction.
Oh, you can't breathe.
And all of a sudden, it happened within 5 minutes of having the IV. Yep. And I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, this isn't a big deal. And I was actually texting a patient of mine, one of my best friends, and he was getting the same IV treatment. He had been for months for Lyme disease. And he's like, you're being such a wuss. You're being such a wimp. Nope. And I'm like, I don't feel so good. And I'm texting him saying, I don't think this is good. And all of a sudden, it just
can't breathe. Yep.
Like that.
Yep.
And I was like, no, I don't think this is supposed to be. And as a nurse, you would think that I would recognize this. But for as much as you read about anaphylaxis, everybody thinks the same thing. There's no preparing for it. They think of Will Smith and Hitch with the ear, the cauliflower ear, and the eye. But that I didn't have any of the
throat
hives.
Closes up. Yeah.
But the other nurses, the funny thing was they had the same reaction. But you don't have hives. And I'm looking at them thinking, who cares? Idiot.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. I'm blue. And I remember taking the chuck off my lap and putting it on the chair because thinking, I don't want my face to touch that when I pass out.
Yeah.
But my martial art training is what saved me because I was able to slow my heart rate down, keep myself calm, to stay conscious enough to get somebody to bring them in. And when they saw me, I was blue in the lips, everything.
Yep.
But anaphylaxis is that highest level.
Well, I've heard horror
allergies.
stories with kids.
How long did it take for you to get that reaction?
It was only 5 minutes.
Wow, that's good.
Because I had an IV.
IV inside already.
I was IV. They were giving me the med through IV.
And it was
What I was going to ask you, Rob, is I've heard horror stories with kids. How did you find out with your daughter?
So thank God that my wife and I are just allergic to everything. So we knew, I'm allergic to certain nuts. Kathy's allergic to certain nuts. So we did the allergy testing. And before I went to college, they did that scratch test.
Yes.
And it was like 12 different things. Mm-hmm. It was like I hit the lottery. I won every single freaking one of them. Every one of them showed that I was allergic. So we were smart enough to take my daughter in for allergy testing.
Awesome.
And what they test for, and thank God that they have these testing. They take the blood. They do still the scratch, but they take the blood.
Yes. And
it shows, hey, listen, she's a shellfish is a pretty good chance. And there's this, and they test all these different foods and airborne stuff and pollen and ragweed and dust mites and you name it. They test for it, so they can actually read from her blood what is going to react and what's going to have a bad reaction if she puts it in her bloodstream. So thank God she's never actually had an anaphylaxis reaction. Me, on the other hand, when I was 8 years old, I was at my grandma's house and we were eating cashews and this and that, and all of a sudden I started, that's it. And my face went red. I remember the tingling feeling in my tongue. And then, but they didn't have, there's no EpiPens back then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so with anaphylaxis, with allergies, the more you introduce it into your system, if your body rejects
like a window.
So I get about a half hour. But the more you introduce, so I actually did it twice in a week, not realizing it. There was cashews into something that I didn't know was in there. So the second time, the third time you actually have that introduced to your body, it becomes more poisonous because now it's in your body, it's in your bloodstream, it stays in there.
Yep.
You have it again. Now it adds to what's in your body, so you react that much worse.
You've cooked I know you've catered for a lot of schools and kids.
Yeah, there's
do
no
anything.
nuts in anything that we've done it, and nothing in the kitchen that I've used has ever had any kind of, even peanuts. And peanuts are not nuts. It's a different.
Yeah.
There's the whole tree.
Yeah,
my nephew is allergic to, as he's explained, tree nuts versus plant nuts or something.
Yep.
And he had to explain it because he said,
They're
I
more
said,
like a
you're
bean.
allergic to nuts. And he's like, no, but it's not. He had to, the kid knew it too.
So you can eat peanuts?
6 years
I can
old,
eat peanuts,
he
and
knew
so can my daughter. So the peanuts are like in a legume family. So
Yes.
it's more of a bean than a nut. So it's not really a nut. It's got the moniker of a nut, but it's not actually a nut.
Right.
Tree nuts, that's where we have the issue. And that's where majority of the people that have nut allergies. But this celiac thing, though, I'll tell you, if you as a celiac patient go to Europe and you have flour, semolina, or any other pasta out there, you'll have no problem.
I've actually heard people talk to me about.
You'll have
they've
no
told
problem.
me that
Why
they
is
traveled
that?
to Europe and
This
it's different.
Monsanto stuff. So it's all the chemicals and so
genetically modified.
so everything in America is faster, harder, faster, quicker, more money.
Well, you as a caterer have to do that.
Well, it's a different story. So what they want to do is they want to, like these chickens and these hormones and everything they put the corn to make things grow faster, to make chickens age faster, to make them plump up. They inject these hormones.
Yes.
And that's the same thing with the growing the plants and the vegetation and everything.
Sure.
So the poison that they put, and it's Monsanto, the poison they put in our food is what's making the flour or anything that causes her celiac. That's the trigger. So if you have the same product in Europe and you have the pasta out there and it's semolina flour and it's not poisoned because they're not stupid like we are in the United States.
And in the United States, I know it's a study I did back in the 40s, the mineral deficiency in
you were a young kid back in the 40s. Huh?
No, my studies. I am a lot older than you, but my studies showed that the soils don't have the minerals that they did.
Yep.
It was always depleted, and all the chemicals they added.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Which leads me
Runoff.
back to, I've always loved your food ever since we met, and your chicken that you bring and all, you always bring that taste, so I always have to eat it. But I do have to watch what I eat. My wife Paula has to watch what she eats. She's going more gluten because of some problems with her hands and all. Drinking a lot of water has helped. So we're doing a lot of different studies, but we're afraid to go to Super Bowl parties without having eat before.
It's fair.
So is there anything else that a gluten-free person should worry about, or is anything you can recommend for a Super Bowl catering?
Know your cook, know your chef, because if you cook, that chicken wing in there might have no flour, might have nothing with the gluten in it, may not trigger celiac. The last thing in that fryer might have had a ton of flour.
It's the cross-contamination.
That's cross-contamination.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what you got to know. So know your chef, know your cook, know what has been in that kitchen. because when I had the restaurant, we had a separate oil pot that had never been touched by any nuts or any flour or anything that had any kind of celiac trigger. Right. And you have to do that because God forbid the kids, but people don't. There's a big problem too. A lot of people now, they go to fads, these fad diets. So people say they're celiac. I had people say, hey, I'm allergic to garlic, which is absolute crap. Okay. You're not allergic to it. You don't like garlic. You don't want flour.
There's a difference between allergies and sensitivities and dislike.
Yes, and dislike. And the problem is that the people with a dislike are hammering people like you, and they're actually, because you know what? So if somebody said it's like, you're full of baloney. There's no way you're allergic to this. How do I know to believe you, Dani? And that's the worst part, being on the back of the house end, because how serious do we take it now? Thank God I've got allergies and I take everything seriously. Right. But people have to understand that just because I say I'm allergic to something doesn't mean I'm actually allergic to something. And they're endangering people like yourself, Dani. Right. It's terrible.
Wow, that really staples you. That you do know this stuff as a caterer, because I would imagine just insurance alone's got to touch on this.
You don't want to get into that. Knock on wood, we've never had that issue yet. So.
But it's important because you're feeding people. And you're feeding kids.
We've had thousands of people a day that we've had to feed. So it's every restaurant has to have that. Notify your server of any allergies, and that's important.
And a lot of them don't. I had a friend who's
it's important. It's a requirement.
JR is allergic to shellfish, highly allergic to. Yep. She went to Chick-fil-A, and they wound up mixing. They cross-contaminated something. She wound up in the hospital with a horrible allergic reaction, and it turned out it was one of the sauces, shellfish and chicken. And she went back and she wound up having to sue. Oh my God!
Would you guys say with your knowledge, is that why sometimes you eat at a certain place, you don't really want to call it food poisoning? Because if I got sick and my wife didn't, or my daughter the other night said, that meal you brought me home from the place, I was deathly sick from it. Is it because maybe she's sensitive and I'm not?
Food poisoning is a complete...
You know when you got food
poisoning. You're in that throne for... 6-8 hours straight, 12 hours
But you know that with food poisoning, what I'm getting at is, so maybe that's
the sensitivity. And I think it's less of an allergy. I think it's an intolerance, more of a sensitivity that could lead to an allergy or celiac or something like that.
That's interesting.
But you definitely want to go back to the scene of the crime and say, hey, listen, you know what? Not pointing any fingers, not accusing you of anything, but hey, what other stuff you cook in this? What's the process of you putting XYZ, this burrito? Like, my daughter had a reaction. We're not saying that, but you need to know how and why it happened.
The why.
What caused
it? To that point, my daughter Courtney's been having problems with pizza now. The cheese, something, she says, I might have an allergic reaction.
Calcium,
I keep getting sick from. So she cut it all out in the past couple of weeks.
Dairy's big,
Dairy, she said that. A lot of people, she said that. What do you do about it, though? What do you go to in dairy?
It depends on how big the sensitivity is. There are medications that you can take to mitigate, to take the lactose out, or you have to avoid dairy. I mean,
that's what she's doing.
Because if it makes you lethargic, that's it. Allergists, they're allergists.
Go see an allergist and go from there, because I know, like in my case, the celiacs, I found out because I was close to needing a blood transfusion at the time because I was so anemic. And every time I went to the doctor, and this is something that I think anybody, it goes to show you need to be an advocate for yourself as a patient. But I went and I'd go see my doctor and I'd go have my physical, and every year I got the same note back. Take iron pills, it must have been your monthly. And I'm like, what the heck? We didn't have this discussion. And every year I'd go back and I'd say, no, I wasn't. And I kept going back, and she just never looked. Right. And finally I got it back, and my my total iron binding capacity was at 300%, which is ridiculous. And my hemoglobin, hematocrit, all these levels were so low that I was to the point of needing a blood transfusion. I was this low, and I was having migraines. Yeah. My lips were turning blue while I was fighting. But I really thought as a woman, I'm anemic. That's just what it is. It turned out I could no longer absorb iron because of celiacs. I was so inflamed. Sure. I wasn't absorbing it anymore, and I didn't realize it. So I had to have iron, these iron IV treatments and all this other stuff.
Was this during when you were up and coming in the martial arts?
I was actually fighting at this point.
At the time.
But what I didn't realize was when I was on the world team, I had oxygen at the ringside because I was so bad. But I thought, once again, I was pushing myself so much.
Yeah.
I could blame it on, I could rationalize it every different way. That I had lost weight, I was doing this, I was doing that. But I didn't look at the core problem, which was nutrition.
Sure.
That's really
Big
where
time.
I should have looked at it.
Big
From
time.
a base level, I should have looked at it as this is a nutrition thing. But I didn't look at it from
with
these
your
macro,
knowledge,
micro levels.
With your knowledge of this, if you were hiring Rob, I consider one of the top caterers because he's done so much. I think you're caterer to the stars. You're known as, and be
if
nice
I had
you
somebody
could
like
talk.
this, I could have figured out the problem without going. If I had you, I probably could have figured it out, and it wouldn't have gotten to the point it got to. But yeah, I didn't.
But it's not the forefront of your mind. You're not thinking that.
I
You're
was
thinking,
not thinking nutrition.
What am I thinking? Yeah. What could have caused this? And it's not something that people think about. And it's not something that's talked about either. It's not something
my
that's
coaches
out
weren't.
there. No.
No, they were giving me more protein. They were giving me more
That's
supplements.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they
absolutely.
weren't thinking, like, if I had you, then I probably
100%.
could have figured things out. And it makes me realize how much the athletes must depend on you.
Yeah.
Even just to solve, like, inflammation and to help to speed the recovery.
Different foods solve different problems. And
So they must lean on you,
I do.
especially during the season.
I deal with a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I deal with a lot of stuff.
Hey
I
Rob,
think so.
to that point, I noticed a picture. I don't know how much you're allowed to talk about your behind the scenes stuff, but were you in a picture with Gronk holding your food? Was that your food he was holding?
I fed Gronk. I did.
That's the enemy. You know that, right?
He wasn't.
He towered over you.
He
made you look like a little
like
boy.
a peanut. He did. He's not the enemy anymore, and he really never
Still
was the enemy. What I
Danny,
what I
everybody's the
wanted to
enemy
do
of it.
was ask him if he would mind reenacting the interception. If I could play the role of Chase Blackburn, and
I would have liked that.
I know.
I would have
So
liked that.
that's kind of it was on the tip of my tongue, but I hadn't got paid yet, so I wanted to make
Oh,
sure.
no, yeah. Because then he might have been like,
But in
well,
my mind,
in lieu of
in
that,
my mind,
you
it
know?
was, hey, listen, I'll be Chase Blackburn, and we're gonna take your hopes and dreams away from you.
What a great picture. How did you get him to pose for that? Because he's holding you, usually it's, he's holding your food.
Listen, he was as cool as
He's a
he could
great
be.
guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
he really was. I mean, a lot of these people behind the scenes are really just great people, and he really was a nice guy.
I don't think Tom Brady is.
Just
listen,
to
man.
go to that.
How did he do against the Giants the 2 times he played us in the Super Bowl?
Well, to that point, the only thing Brady has that really bothers him, he's very respectful of Eli.
No,
Yeah.
that tweet sucked.
The best is
That-
the
Wish you
best
didn't
thing
win the
he ever
two-
said.
No,
but
listen, I
but I
think it
really
was-
wish you didn't win.
I really wish he didn't win, and it's true. He's
I'd
gonna
have 8 rings.
But he's going to be miserable for the rest of his life because of those 2 damn Super Bowls. Because he's never going
Thank
to get
you,
those
Eli.
back.
Thank you.
Well, wait a minute. So let's twist that
Yeah.
a little bit. We don't really care how miserable someone is. When you first heard Eli was going to retire, wasn't going to get his starts, wasn't going to be a star, what was your feeling?
Miserable.
Would you guys want to see him though on another team ever?
No.
Like
Would
his
I want
brother-
to? No.
His brother did it.
His brother did it. I wouldn't want to see him on another team, but if he's going to be happy, I mean, you're always taught what you root for the laundry, right?
Yeah.
You root for the jersey, but with Eli, that's a special person.
Eli's
He is.
How many
He's a
game-winning
class act.
drives? And
42.
That's it. That's it. 42 game-winning drives.
Game-winning drives.
And people forget that because it
I
happened.
didn't even know about it.
It happened more towards the beginning of his career. He
Right.
he got a little older. His mechanics were a little off. He wasn't hitting the deep pass. Yeah. He didn't have the weapons that
But
he had.
I
He
was
didn't
gonna
have the
say,
Hakeem
he
Nicks.
didn't
He didn't have Plaxico Burress. He didn't have all the
Bradshaw.
That's what I was getting
Bradshaw.
at.
Right. He didn't have
Ahmad Bradshaw.
He didn't have Ahmad. Right.
Brandon Jacobs, I mean, for everything.
BJ was great though.
Brandon Jacobs was great.
He was a
But
beast.
think about what we had before that.
Yeah.
Ron Dane and
Ron
Tiki
Dane.
Barber.
Yeah, but Ron Dane didn't
We
do
were supposed
anything.
to have thunder and lightning. We got
That's
fog and
it.
drizzle.
No, that's it.
I
Ron
mean,
Dane,
he didn't have
Heisman
have
Trophy winner.
anything.
he was putt-putt.
Eli came in, and then all of a sudden he started getting these weapons, and we
Yep.
were like,
Monty
oh,
Toomer.
we
He
got
had Amani.
Amani
He had
Toomer,
Amani.
toe drag swag king.
Mario Manningham. Yeah.
We had some
Mike,
guys
you
in
getting
there
all
that
this?
could do David Tyree.
I know you're a big Giants
We
fan.
had guys. So there was a lot. I wanted Eli to go out the same way he came in, and he did with class.
He did.
His speech at the end, beautiful.
Only
I
a
mean,
giant.
brought tears.
Only a giant.
Only a giant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So I would never want to see him
You think he
go
came up with that, or
anywhere.
you think that was fed to him?
No, I think he came up with
You
that.
do, huh? I don't know. I
Hey,
can't feel
listen.
that.
I
That felt
think
kind of
he came up
scripted.
with
I
that.
love
Listen,
listening.
guys, look at the legacy he left, because when I heard Peyton had moved on, and then saw what he was doing.
Peyton,
with
I
a
could
And he
see
won a
moving
Super
on.
Bowl with another team.
with a different team,
Yeah.
goes out that way. Think of the legacy in their family alone.
Yeah.
Because Eli,
Archie.
And
he
now they
did
got
it.
another one
he
coming.
made it happen. What
Yeah,
if,
the nephew, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
what if he had
Another one
left
coming
at
up.
30? I don't know how old Peyton was
Peyton
when
was
he
in his 40s.
left.
He was-
When he first
Peyton, yeah, was-
went.
Oh, when he
was
left the
just-
Colts, he was 38.
Yeah,
right?
38 or
So
38,
right
yeah.
around. So let's say Eli did do that and went to another team, and then you got to start the building process. And
I don't
Eli
think he
wasn't
wouldn't
good
have. I don't think he would have.
he went out the way he went out, and to the point of I always loved greatness. Thinking of Brady this year,
Yeah.
now he's got to start all over.
He could have.
Eli,
But think about his mentality. He's got to start all
Brady
over
is
to
gonna do that.
prove something.
Right. It wouldn't
I'm
happen.
gonna do that.
You got your
He's
six.
got nothing left to prove. In my
I
mind,
agree.
he's the greatest giant. Listen,
I
Lawrence
agree with
Taylor,
you.
he's the greatest giant of all time.
I agree with you.
Lawrence Taylor did his thing, and he was the best at what he did. But Eli ran that team, and Eli made that 16-year span such a pleasure to be a
Eli.
Giants fan.
He
Eli.
made it Eli's legacy, and Eli's that 16 years was Eli's.
Eli. That was Eli time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
you
he
never
had-
look at
yeah,
that time
yep.
frame. You can name the other players, and
Yeah.
you can be like, "Oh, he was
Yeah,
good."
he had Strahan, he had this, yep. Sure.
Look, Strahan and Jesse Armstead.
I loved
one of the
Armstead.
best
Oh, come on.
tandem. But you'll never look at it and go, "Well, there was this guy,"
Right,
and that
no.
that might have been his time.
Nope.
It wasn't.
It was Eli's. It
all-
was Eli's book.
I'm
Book
glad
Eli.
you guys are saying
Yeah,
this
yeah.
only because
Eli.
it was really disheartening to watch him when he got to play those last two games and watch what was happening. 'Cause
The Miami game was freaking priceless.
that was,
But
that
the
was,
Dolphin
uh,
game was just, you were like,
That was
that
Eli.
was classic.
That was Eli. Yeah.
And it was also his composure.
composure, yeah.
Ah.
Eli always had that cool demeanor
Yep.
that
And then
you were
losing
like,
it at the
oh.
end where he's about, oh, come on.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
when
If
that
you're
lip
not crying,
tremble-
you're not human.
When he
That was disheartening, Rob.
when you
that
saw
was
that
really
lip
disheartening.
tremble
Forget it.
going, I was
At the
like,
end
oh
there.
my God, he's
Yeah.
gonna cry.
He's going to cry.
But
Because I was like, he doesn't.
I
show
have to
emotion.
throw this in. Who else did the Dolphins beat?
Listen, they won
They
6 or
beat-
7
beat-
games,
No,
right?
they
beat
beat
the
the
Patriots.
Patriots.
Oh, they beat
Their
the
last
Patriots, right,
game,
yeah.
they beat the Patriots.
So-
And that's where I was sitting there going, I'm sorry, we beat the Dolphins. and they
and
lost-
they beat the yeah.
Okay. Then I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, Fitzpatrick, thank you very much.
I was just
Appreciate
disheartened
that.
by the end of that game. But now emotions level out, and you see now what we're seeing this past week about Eli.
Yeah.
I didn't know his stats were that state,
yeah.
that he was that
Too
great.
many
I mean,
fans wanted to see him gone. And I thought that was everybody.
I don't think there were times he just did not get a fair shake. And believe me, I was yelling at
Look at McAdoo. I mean, that.
McAdoo should just. Okay, this is the only thing I will say about McAdoo,
can't
and I don't.
stand him.
Yeah, the porn mustache and all.
Oh, 80s. Yeah.
The only thing McAdoo did that was helpful when he first came on was that, and this was before he was head coach, was yes, he helped Eli with the short passes and more of that West Coast offense.
Yeah, I agree.
You helped because yes, we stopped with the interceptions, but the one thing about Eli is Eli was always a very generous quarterback. He did not care about the interceptions if it meant that there was a chance we were going to score and get down the field. He never cared about the interception stat.
Well,
Out of
you mean
Rivers-
by the? I could tell by the Tyree pass.
Oh, he didn't give.
Well,
He
yeah.
never gave a shit.
He doesn't make that pass, they don't win that game.
No,
Of course not. Well,
He
you
was
got to remember, that was on
but he
third
also
down. That was
scrambled.
third down. There was still another down after that.
And he would have went for it, but they
That was
scrambled.
third.
3rd and 5.
Third and
right?
five.
3rd and 5?
It
Okay.
was a little longer.
Might have been.
But
But
third
they still
down.
had another down. So
But he also would have went for it, but he
Right.
scrambled. And let's
he
face
did
it, we
scramble.
all know
He's in-
Eli.
He aimed for his wheels.
Eli
great.
was almost as bad as Drew Bledsoe when it came to staying in that pocket
Yeah.
and being stationary.
Yeah.
He moved, and it was like
he rolled out right. Yep.
I mean, they had him by that jersey, and they were not letting go,
Yep.
and he gave that little shoulder tuck
Yep.
great.
and pulled, and I was like, he's moving.
How the hell are you doing that?
I was like, wait,
Yep.
he's still moving. He's still up.
Yep.
Because I'm like, they're gonna
Yep.
call this dead.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah, that's what I thought.
No, he
Yep.
rolled out. And I was like, look at Eli go. Look at that. He
Yep.
actually got wheels.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Plex took it on from there. But Eli overall, out of, let's not forget who was in the class, Rivers, Roethlisberger, and Eli. Eli also has the most interceptions out of the three. But if you look at him, he'll tell you, I don't care,
I don't care.
about the interceptions.
He's not a stats guy. He was never a stats
He was
guy.
never,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. He was generous.
He went out with class.
Right.
He went in with class. He went out with class. He was very clear. I want to play for the Giants. I don't care what you have to do. But for all, the Chargers people who were pissed off, you got Sean Merriman out of
That's
it.
right. Yep.
You got Sean
And
Merriman
Philip
out of
Rivers
that
was no
deal.
slouch either.
And Rivers still, will Rivers play with the Chargers? It's up for air. But you still got Sean Merriman out of that deal.
That's a good deal.
So it wasn't
was
really
solid,
that
yep.
bad out of it.
Yeah.
So I think
And the Giants
overall,
never beat the Chargers, did they, in those 16 years?
No.
I don't think they did.
We've
Yeah, I don't think
choked
they did.
almost
Yeah,
every
I was
time.
going to say that.
Because I think it was hard for Eli also to
It must
play
have
in that
been. It must have
environment,
been.
knowing that, because the Chargers were also, they've never let us live that down.
Right.
But Eli made it clear, and I thought it was very classy, even in his speech, that he thanked DeCourcy and Kevin Gilbride.
Yes, Gilbride, which I
now
called him
is
Kevin
going-
Gildrive. I hated him.
But Kevin
And,
is now coaching for the XFL, for the New York
Oh, is that
team.
right?
Yeah, he's coaching. Yeah,
I
I think he learned a lot from him.
Stan Gilbride.
But
Come on.
overall, Eli went in,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for Eli, actually. Seeing you as little kids.
I didn't realize
Got a
I didn't
son.
realize how young his
Picture
kids
not
were.
seeing your kid that much.
Yeah. Every week you're in a different
You're
city.
somewhere else and
Now-
talking by phone.
But you were at one of the Super Bowls, correct?
I was right
I'm looking
behind.
at that thing on his around.
I was
here.
right behind Eli. I was in the corner of the end zone, upper
Oh my
deck,
gosh.
and I was right behind Eli as he was getting his jersey pulled at and made that pass to David Tyree, which I called.
Wait a minute. How do you mean you called?
I was on a bus from some brewery, and we took a shuttle bus in, and there was a bunch of a bunch of Patriots fans, and so and I'm a Syracuse boy. Like, I've always liked Syracuse. I said, "You watch." It was, we're gonna kill it, 19-0. I said, "You watch." David Tyree is going to be the reason, and I swear to you, that the New York Giants, win the Super Bowl. And I
played
am
lotto
not
that
kidding.
night.
Yeah, I should have. But when I got back to the bar later that night, I didn't know where the guy goes. Wait a second, that's the guy that called it. That's the guy that called David Tyree. He called it. And I had my fun with the Pats fans. I missed the shuttle bus back, and in fact, I have something here from that Super Bowl. I missed the shuttle bus back. I had to pay like $200 for a taxi because my uncle lives in Glendale, so I had to pay like $200 for this taxi. But Stephen Smith of the New York Giants handed me a wad of confetti as that was sprinkling down to the field as the Giants.
No, don't touch it.
Yeah, this
wanna
is a special gift
I'll fight you for it.
for Danny. That's you. So I know your love for our team, and that is something you will cherish forever. I have it. I have a bag of it. I brought it from Arizona.
Now you understand this could be any confetti, and
You could believe whatever you want to believe. That, I promise you, is right right around the 20-yard line. Cost me a $200 taxi, but it was worth.
But it's totally worth it.
It was worth every penny.
You have enough, right?
I have. That's yours. I got plenty.
Rob, what's the other thing on the floor there?
So during for these
This is actual confetti
yes.
from there.
So as you can see, the face value on this ticket was $700.
How did you get tickets?
I was about 3 rows away from God in the Super Bowl, and it was not $700. I'll tell you that. It was before I had kids and responsibilities.
Shirt or something.
So these are the February 3rd, 2008. These were the seat cushions, and I actually stole my buddy's. You can have this as well.
No.
And I don't remember where the hell
This
I
was
got
actually-
this.
wait a minute, this was in the
that was
Super
under
Bowl.
my butt at the Super Bowl, or one of our butts.
I don't care.
And this is this is I don't know where the heck this probably came with the package with that, but every one of us got this, and you can't
I
have
don't
this
feel
because
like
it's the
I
only
could-
one that I have. But
No, I feel like this is like
that
should be in a museum.
that should be in a
put this
museum.
on the wall.
This is great.
So how I landed tickets. So and correct me, I'm sure you're gonna remember the series. We had Dallas, we had Green Bay.
Yep.
Which was first?
Green Bay was the Ice Bowl.
Green Bay was the Ice Bowl. That was the one
Dallas
leading
was
into.
first.
Dallas was first. All right, so
Yes.
after we beat Dallas and Romo choked like he always did, my uncle
Yeah.
from Glendale,
He did.
my uncle called me from Glendale, Arizona, and said, "Listen, get tickets now." So what are you talking about? He said the Giants will be in the Super Bowl. He's been removed from us for 10 or 12 years that he lived out in Glendale, Arizona. He said, "Get tickets now. Your Giants will be in the Super Bowl." I said, "You're full. There's no way the Giants are going to make the Super Bowl."
Right.
Then we beat Dallas. I'm thinking, all right. He's like, "Listen, get tickets now, because after they beat the Packers, those tickets are gonna quadruple in price."
Yeah.
Wow.
Worst case scenario, you hang out. We could go to the parking lot, whatever. Just find it. So I said, all right, listen. I miss my cousins, this and that. I said, all right, fine. So I went and I got tickets, not thinking that I was actually going to go to the Super Bowl, but hey,
Right.
if the Giants are there, I'll be in the same state. I'll be in the same city, whatever. So my buddy actually took the 11-hour trip from Albany to Green Bay and watched the Ice Bowl. He was at the Ice Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Giants won that game. So now here we are. Giants are going to the Super Bowl. I will be in Glendale, Arizona for the Super Bowl. So I called a buddy of mine. We had season tickets that year. We sat right in the end zone, and we were at that game where the Patriots. I don't think we sat the entire. Was it 35-38 or something like that?
It was close.
It was a
but
bit high-scoring game, but it was an amazing game, and it was the last game of the season, and it almost put that 17-0 record down. And
we were close because we like to do that after we did that to the Broncos when they were.
1998.
I was at that game.
Oh, 98, huh? That was.
Felipe Sparks caught it.
That was a great game. That was a great game.
I was
there's
at that
different
game.
stories for that one too. So a buddy of mine, we had the season tickets, and we both went back and forth. Single guys in our 20s, 30s, whatever it was, we were, we didn't have much responsibility. So I said, listen, if this ticket goes, if you can find tickets for $1,500 or less, we're going. We have a place to stay. My uncle said we could drive his car. This and that. We have a shuttle bus if we want.
Wow.
And so he said, all right, I'm on it. So, that eBay or this. So this guy out in Pittsburgh got stuck in Pittsburgh. And it wasn't quite $1,500. It was a little more than that. And we bit the bullet. It was what I said. Listen, Robbie, I got the tickets. We're going. So this guy that lost, that was stuck in Pittsburgh, got us his tickets, and we were there, and it was
everything
for
that
it was more than I ever could have imagined. I mean, I've been to football games out there. I've been to hundreds of Giants games. That was the single greatest.
Was it.
I've got a daughter. I got Matt. That was the single greatest moment of my life. And
I would.
Hopefully my wife doesn't see this, but yes, it was the single greatest.
Okay, but it was up there.
The Giants win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would say that
in Arizona.
That would be up there.
Yeah.
I would kind of die.
Yeah, that was
I remember just pacing in front of the TV. And that was enough for
I can imagine how much yelling goes on in your house. I can imagine his voice.
No. I have to actually send out apology letters to neighbors.
There's some yelling.
Especially like whenever they play Dallas on a Monday night, it's like Dallas and Giants playing. Sorry.
I didn't know the Dallas rivalry was that big. Till our friend Mark turned me on to that.
The last 3 years have not been anything we want to talk about on this.
Well, the catch kind of. I mean, I know we lost, but still, the catch. It was like, But Chris Collinsworth likes to play that catch a lot.
I can't stand him.
It's been better.
Listen, we've had better years.
All right,
better.
So getting back to Eli, let's wrap it up a little bit here. Class act.
Total 100%.
By far, we're
First
all
ballot.
going to love him forever.
First ballot.
Went out
Don't
the
care what
right
anybody
way,
says.
right?
Yes.
What did you think of his performance against Miami? He looked good.
Classic
he looked
Eli.
like,
it was Eli.
He looked like he
left it all on the field.
He looked
You can never say that Eli didn't give everything he ever had on any given moment.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter if that was like she said, like if it was a pick, it was a pick. But he put his team in the best situation to win.
He really did.
He
Did you feel he had the guns he needed for those?
He didn't have
for
the
this
weapons.
season?
The offensive line has been.
The offensive line has been
Terrible.
abysmal for at least 4 years.
Terrible. I mean, when we won that
seasons
Super
at
Bowl,
least.
how many games in a row was it? Like 50-something games that line all played together without missing a game. It was an insane amount of games.
I mean, you go back to David Deal, Sean O'Hara.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're looking at guys who
So the gel was there.
Yeah, it was there, and it was Luke Pettigrew. Even Luke
Pettigrew. Yeah.
I mean, listen, the guy was a false start machine, but that group of core four played together.
But that was passion, I think, on Pettigrew. Like Pettigrew
I
was
liked
just.
I
liked
him.
him.
I did. He jumped off sides a couple times.
He
had
did,
a share of false starts. But.
Overall, it wasn't bad. It was just that line was there. I think by bringing in, I think Joe Judge. I'm going to wait and see what he does.
I think he's going to be all right. Listen, the first two words it was Joe effing Judge. Really? Like what? But who else is out there?
I wanted Ron Rivera.
I wanted the kid from Baylor.
Mike Rule, Matt Rule, I wasn't 100% on because to me,
Ron Rivera. Huh?
I was looking at him like Ron Rivera to me was a class act.
He's a Gettleman guy too, and if you're going to believe in Gettleman, you can believe in Rivera. I'm not going to argue that. I can't argue that.
That's where I want.
I thought they brought a
it
championship to Carolina, right?
That's where I was looking at it, and I looked at it as if you looked at what Cam Newton, I was like, you know what, maybe, but. The only thing I didn't like, and this is just me, is even at the press conference, I didn't feel that they should have been asking Eli about what do you think of Daniel Jones' future. This was about Eli.
Can't do
Shut
that.
the hell up.
Yeah, leave us alone. That's terrible.
Like, this is all about Eli right
Listen,
now.
this is all great talk, and I think you guys could talk all day. It seems when
all
it
day.
comes to Giants.
Mark Bavaro.
Oh, 89, my favorite. Absolutely. Oh, come on.
Favorite tight end ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better than Gronk.
Better than Gronk.
Better than
yeah.
Gronk.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah,
they
Mark
can go
Bavaro.
all day.
Mark Bavaro.
Mark Bavaro, all day
Hands
long.
down.
Is there
All day
anything
long.
you'd like to add? You know, I
No,
want
I
to
like him. I
You like him, huh?
Even though he catered for Gronk,
I
I
did.
still like him. I still like him. He passes
Listen, money
the test.
talks.
But I still want to kick Gronk in the head.
Listen, I know nobody
You
believes
can-
you.
you can- you can-
I don't
you
think
can let
you,
him
I
know.
don't care how good your martial arts skills are. It's gonna be tough to kick him in that head.
Mike, can I kick him in the head?
Really?
Thank you.
Okay. Listen,
so
I'll make it happen. Yeah, I'll make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
I got a guy. Yeah, I got
All
a
right,
guy.
so we have another guest here. I'm not going to cut you off because I like what I'm hearing here. I just wanted to touch real quick on a little bit of some Cowboys coming to the Giants. But before I do, what do you think of the new quarterback on the Giants? I mean, what's the real feelings on Jones? What can he do?
I like him.
Oh, you do? Good.
I do.
If we can get the ball security.
Yes. Well, that's it.
That's a rookie thing.
We need off. Yeah,
That's
but
a
you know
rookie
what?
thing.
He's kind of reckless like Eli. So he's got a lot of
You
Eli qualities.
thought Eli was reckless? I never thought Eli was
Well,
reckless.
you know what?
in that.
When you say
From
throwing,
ball security.
when you throw, yes.
Okay, when you're saying throwing downfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, he's not trying to throw the other team, but
No,
he's
no,
trying
I get
to
what
make.
you're saying, though.
He's trying. Listen, he's got a legend that's watching him from the sidelines. What the hell are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You're being
No.
breathed by.
I think Jones was trying to separate himself from Eli by saying, "I'm not going to
Right.
throw the interceptions Eli's going to do, but I can move the way Eli can't.
I
I'm
kind
going
of
to differentiate
I kind of
myself."
blame the coaching for that. Like I never liked.
I never liked Schumer
I
as
never
a choice.
liked Pat Schumer.
I don't know
didn't like
what
Ben
the
Mac-
hell
yeah.
they were thinking.
No, that's and I've got
I
friends.
didn't think Schumer was a good fit.
I don't think it was, and I
all.
think that they tried to make him blossom.
I
before
thought
he was
Spags
ready.
should have gotten.
I
a shot.
love Spags.
I love Spags. I think, and
I
I'm.
love and
I
Spags
think
is going to do
Spags
something
should've
good
gotten
on
a shot.
Sunday. I think Spags is going to do good things on Sunday.
I think Spags should have gotten a
love
shot,
Spags.
and I knew Spags was going to be different because he wanted the Honey Badger. He was trying to get him to come to New York.
Oh yeah.
So I knew that was it.
So just curious.
I think Daniel Jones is. I think if they can get him the help he needs,
I think they need the help.
I think we could do something. That offensive line's got to get
Yeah.
fixed, and I think Jones will have time to marinate and recover.
But Jalapeo's got to stay healthy. This kid left. What do we have on the offensive line that's going to show us that
The
he's gonna
offensive line needs help. We've been saying
help
that for years.
we need to have 3 other guys that nobody knows about. You know, it's just
Mike's our production supervisor, who is a Giants fan. Mike, what are you thinking?
The offensive line sucks.
Okay, yeah, well, that's what
Okay.
how long we've been saying
so
that.
you could put
And what I want to do, Mike, is I want to
We need
mix it up a
cornerbacks.
little
we need
bit
cornerback.
here
Yeah.
because
Well, how about a pass rusher? Have we had a pass rusher? I mean,
JPP was our last pass
man,
rusher,
I know.
and we're
How
not
many
getting
fingers-
Chase
How
Young.
many fingers he got left? Yeah. So we just need a new
Landon
team.
Collins, getting rid of Landon Collins was a huge mistake.
Yeah, but why did that? There has to be, and you had to have talked about this. Why did that happen?
I believe
He's a
getting
head
rid.
case.
No, you see, I think he was able to keep the defense. He was able to keep some of the defense together, though.
But why did they just let him go? There has to be a reason behind this. I don't think anybody
Gettleman
attaches.
was looking more at money at that point,
But we
and
got
I don't
nothing
think
for
he was
him.
looking.
We could have gotten something for him if we franchised
Julian,
him.
but we got Peppers, and I think he thought
I
Jabril Peppers was.
I love Pepper. I loved him in Michigan, and I loved the play.
We
But
have
still,
not
that
had
had nothing to do with Collins, though. How do we not get anything for Collins?
But I think they thought that Peppers was going to step in with the OBJ trade.
Sure.
I think he
I
thought
didn't hate that
Peppers
trade.
was going to. You like the OBJ trade?
I don't like OBJ. I thought he was not.
Wow.
Look at the Giants.
Oh.
Look at the classic Giants. Look at the class and look at
Yes,
the
I
people they put on
understand
the
that.
field. And you got this guy that's just talking about Eli and telling him he's a terrible quarterback, and he didn't have the class that the
That's
Giants have
maturity.
embodied.
But that
and
was
that probably
also,
resonated with
It
what
sure-
with
I'm
the
sure
end
it did.
result.
I'm sure it did. And then we got some good players. And I love Jabril. We got the who do we get?
I
the
like
offensive
Sterling
line?
Shepard. I like
Sterling
Darius
Shepard.
Slayton.
Slayton, I love. He's
I
going to
like
be great.
Antonio. I like Bethea. There's certain guys I like.
Yeah.
I like Jalapeno. I like him.
Bethea's been good lately too.
But we need to we're not getting Chase Young in the draft.
Oh, I know.
We
I know.
needed Chase Young.
Yeah, we did.
We really did.
We did.
But there's certain guys that
we need a pass rusher. We need a middle linebacker. We haven't had a middle linebacker since Antonio Pierce, and even that was
Antonio Pierce. I like.
I did too, but we haven't had anything in the middle.
We haven't had cornerbacks since the Wills and since Sehorn.
Well, we know what happened with Sehorn. We don't want to talk about
Let's
that.
not get on Sehorn,
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Jason Sehorn.
Sehorn breaks my heart a little bit.
Did you see the picture over there?
Sehorn's my man.
Sehorn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sehorn, my man.
No, that's
Sehorn, I've been waiting for you to hit me back. You have not hit me back.
Yeah, no,
Sehorn's a good man.
I miss Sehorn. That was a bad use of him.
Would you run up
his
check?
career?
We're ready. If his makeup's good, bring him in.
That was not Sehorn's idea.
No, I didn't say it was. Yeah.
No, Sehorn took the hit for Fossil, but that was
Fossil's
really?
And
idea.
I love Fossil. I did. I like Fossil.
When I spoke to Sehorn, when I met him, when I took that picture, Sehorn actually said, the coach mentioned me returning kicks.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So when he hurt himself, he took it on saying, I wanted to. Nah, that was coaching. Yeah. But he took it on. He put on too much muscle after that. And once you have an injury like that, if it doesn't rehab properly, the injuries come back and back. And then he broke the leg, and it was one thing after another.
So back to my question, Rob answered it. He didn't like, he likes Jones. What do you think?
I like Jones.
I do.
Yeah.
I think
he's got the
help.
potential to be another Eli.
Oh, I don't think we'll ever see another.
No, there won't be another Eli.
That's impressive.
No, there won't be another Eli.
I don't think, and I think to put that pressure on Jones isn't really fair to him.
Yeah.
Considering, look, we've been
Mike,
through.
we got another guest coming on, but we're gonna bring him right on the set.
I mean, Kerry Collins.
Dave Brown?
Yeah, I go back to the Dave Brown era, and this is what I say to all Giants
for him too.
fans.
I'll tell you what, man.
Oh
That's funny
my
story
God.
about that. So
Dave Brown?
I was cooking at this thing. John
Starks
Starks was there. There was a bunch of
right now.
Somebody's like, "Oh my God, Dave Brown's here," or somebody's like, "Oh, some Dave Brown." I'm like, "Oh, Dave Brown sucks." And he was right behind me. We had Kent Graham at the time too. I mean, we had nothing. I know. We had nothing. Kerry Collins. Well, we see what happened to Kerry Collins. I mean, Kerry Collins
it's
paved
safe
the way
to
to
say,
Eli.
Mike, these two could talk this all day.
Dave Brown.
Dave Brown, Dave Brown
The Dave Brown
sucks.
era. I've always said, if you survive through the Dave Brown era, then you're a
and if
true
you're
fan.
still a Giants fan after watching Dave Brown,
and them actually,
and they had an offensive line then too, and they had a phenomenal defense.
Dave Brown was taken in the same time that we took Daniel Jones.
Yep.
I mean, it's like
was it really? See, I didn't.
It's twinning.
He was a number 6 pick overall.
From Duke.
From Duke. It was like
I think you
let's hope. I didn't. That's something.
I'd hate to have you two at a game.
Yeah.
Oh no,
you don't want to be around me in a game, especially if they're losing to the Cowboys.
And especially, and don't you love it when they're winning against the Cowboys?
Oh,
the Cowboys fans sit there going,
They don't-
"We're coming back.
yeah.
We're coming back."
What do you think about Garrett?
You know what? I think it could be good for him.
I think it could be good as well.
It could be good for him.
I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's a bad signing
because I
whatsoever.
think that he's going to need the help.
I knew there was. When you said it, I knew that I had to have known.
Why he wearing that?
Hey, Mikey, come on in.
I'm not liking this one bit.
Listen, man.
Who's this dude?
Look at that mirror.
Mike Longo.
How's it good, man? How's Billy? Great. I seen that last night. Everybody was at that.
How are you, Mikey? This is Danny. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Danny.
Hi.
Yeah, no. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
How are you?
Danielle, we're gonna switch over the seat. Let's get Rob over and Mike sit in. You gotta come. You gotta see what these two are doing to your team here.
My team.
His team.
We were just getting into. I was trying to ease them into a little talk about Witten and all, but first I just wanted to say,
Well, Witten might
I figured it was
Giants.
Shomish. I didn't know that was going to be. I knew you had somebody mean that I love for everything else besides his decision to
Mike,
root
these
for
two haven't stopped about the Giants and everything about it. They have not stopped. But I thought it would be interesting to have a Cowboys fan here while we're rolling. Tell Danielle how you got into being a Cowboys fan.
Okay, so I'm 57 years old.
Okay.
I had cousins that lived in Queens, and we used to go there every year. It was my mom's sister, and my cousins were 3 boys, and they all were Jet fans. But the whole neighborhood would play, tackle football out on the street because they didn't use grass back then.
Of course they don't.
So one of his friends that slept over was a Cowboy fan and left a Cowboy helmet at the house. Just so happens the next day, My parents take me there. I'm in a crib. My cousin sees the helmet, says, I don't want this in the house. Threw it in my crib. It was the old-fashioned helmets with the white guard, that plastic guard.
Yeah.
So my father, being a big Giant fan, wanted to get rid of it. But my mother said, no, leave it in there. Look cute. Been a Cowboy fan ever since.
And what was your father?
A Giant fan.
Giant
yeah,
total?
he was.
All out.
Big Giant fan.
Big Giant fan. How was that? How'd that work out in the house?
We had our arguments. Long story short, me and him, when I got older, and the Cowboys were just like Steve Pallor, they were the worst. They couldn't beat anybody.
They were pretty bad.
We flew out to Dallas, me and him, like a father and son thing. And when we got there, we went to see them play the Minnesota Vikings. It was the first Sunday night game ever. And I flew all the way out there to see them kick a field goal. They lost 43-3.
There you go.
My father was the happiest guy in the world.
We were just Mike. We were just getting into the Witten, the pickup with Garrett. What's your feeling on it? Is it going to help the Giants?
Hell no.
Well, of course you're gonna say that.
Hold on.
Well, Mike always shoots it straight, so you
Smart
got
man here. You're a football guy, right?
I am.
Okay. Cowboys were the number 1 offense and the
here we
number
go.
5 defense, and they didn't make the playoffs. I went to the Jet Cowboy game.
Well, that was not
When they lost that game,
that wasn't even
and
a game.
everything got put in the closet, season's over. Because they did not come to play, and that comes from the coach, and they gave up on it. So that was it.
See, but that comes from the coach that coached the entire team. I think he's got a pretty good offensive mind, and having Joe, what's his name, the coach, Joe Judge, having Joe Judge as a head coach, putting him in his place and only making him worry about you get from this yard line to the end zone. And all you have to do is get the best team, best group of guys to score points. You don't have to worry about managing personalities because Joe Judge, being a Belichick guy, is going to be able to manage personalities.
He's going to be very disciplined.
All right, so I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How are the other offense and defensive coordinators from the Patriots doing when they left? When the Patriots, and they went on to be head coaches.
I think the kid,
Josh McDaniels didn't go anywhere.
Josh McDaniels, we went somewhere for like 10 minutes.
All the other big
But that kid,
time-
not a kid from Detroit.
That's a good point, Mike.
How about
Matt Lyons?
I love Matt. But
Went to the Lions.
What's his name? Cornell?
Romeo Crennel doesn't count. He's a goof. But look at
that's
Tennessee.
aggravating.
Look at Tennessee. Look at Tennessee. You're telling me that him beating Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel's
You're telling me
doing
that
real
him.
good.
Yeah, he beat
He
first
was
of
a
all.
player.
But he's still a Belichick guy.
Wasn't a coach.
Doesn't matter. He's still in the same system.
Name me some coaches that came from Belichick that are doing successful.
Interesting.
Not yet.
Wait a minute.
Not yet. But Mike Vrabel is still in the
Wait a
same.
minute. From the Belichick tree, I mean, we look at Parcells.
Yeah, Parcells is
Belichick,
No.
but I'm saying they
Belichick
came
from Parcells.
Yes, they came in through.
Okay.
They came up through that tree. But you look at even Vrabel. Vrabel says he learned even as a player from watching Belichick. And he still out
Have
chest
they answered my
matched
question
him.
yet? Has any-
But what's the difference between a player and a coach? If you're being coached by this guy and you're learning his intricacies and where you know what he's
just
thinking,
making a
you
statement.
know that's not a statement. That was a question, and I'm answering your question. The coaching, it doesn't matter if you're in that system, you've lived that system. You understand how to coach. You understand how to make it a business. They make the New England Patriots is a business. It's everything is militant, and you got to do this. You be here like Parcells. Parcells' time was 15 minutes early, or you're late. That's what Bill Belichick teaches you, and that's what Mike Vrabel lost, and that's what Judge is learning.
Well, unless you were LT.
LT had his own rules.
Yeah.
LT had his own rules, and it didn't
okay.
matter. So it doesn't matter. Listen, there's always got to be a first coach that's going to be a success.
Okay.
And as far as I'm concerned, I could only hope that Joe Judge is going to be that coach. Now, did I laugh every time I played Jason Garrett? Of course. He was a joke. He's a clapper. But he lost respect of the entire team.
Yes.
That's
You know
not
why?
what we need to do. We need him to control those whatever amount of guys on the offense. And
Why,
if he
Mike?
doesn't,
Tell us
yeah.
why.
Did you follow any of the Cowboy games?
only when they were only when they were beating us the last 3 years.
Right. So you have the best running back in the league, and you're going in for the winning touchdown on your own 3, and you pass the ball?
Pete Carroll did the same thing. You tell me he's a terrible coach?
No.
Okay.
No.
But they also had he wasn't the offensive coordinator last year, right? Who was it? That idiot from Boise
Kellen.
State? Yeah, Kellen, right.
They kept Kellen.
who's he?
Well, Kellen is still.
Yeah, Kellen Moore, right? Kellen Moore.
He
Is the offensive
looked
coordinator.
like he could be a pizza delivery kid.
Oh my God! I don't even think he would get. I think he would be fired from being a pizza delivery guy.
No, but I think he had some interesting plays.
Well, look at Boise State.
Michael,
Boise State,
before you got
everything's
here,
a home run at Boise
They
State.
took over those two mics, and it was, good Giants talk. But every time I tried to work the Cowboys in, they got quiet.
Do you think Jason Witten's going to follow Garrett to the Giants?
It's a good question. Personally, I would hope not. Because
Do you think he
can
still
play.
Do you think he
I
still
think
has
he can play
time?
one more year.
You think one more year?
I think if he was smart, he would stay one more year.
Okay.
Because we have pretty much a nucleus. We needed a coach now. Now we'll see where
You think Mike McCarthy's the guy for you guys?
Oh, well, at least we're going to beat Green Bay.
But I mean,
yes.
looking like
They
if
need
he
somebody
took a
like
year
him.
off to like retool his football
Yes.
brain,
And
do you
he's
think
got
he's
the fire,
there?
He's got the passion.
Okay.
I think they'll be a lot better.
And Jerry
I
Jones
think they'll
going to
be a
let him
lot
do
better
it?
coach.
Jerry Jones going to let him be him?
That's
Well,
my question. Like, do you
have
think?
another Parcells, right? Parcells built that team.
Don't
up.
even put those two in the same
No, but I'm
category.
saying they're not the same, but they're similar.
Yeah.
They run their own shit.
Bill Parcells and Mike McCarthy?
Well, yeah, he ran Green Bay.
That's not
He
even.
didn't have the
That's not
owners
even.
tell him.
You're not even in the same ballpark.
I'm not saying that McCarthy's better than Parcells. I'm not even close.
But when
Good, we'd have to
Parcells
drug- we'd have
first
to drug
came in,
test
he
you.
was a coordinator, and his first year we went 3-12-1. So I mean, with McCarthy's been established for a long time. He took a year off, and he said, "I had to rewatch the games. I had to relearn the game and how I did it." Considering what happened with him and Aaron Rodgers, to where, let's face it, we all know Rodgers is a diva. Let's put it out there.
Yeah.
Going to a town like Dallas, where quarterback is king, it has the potential to implode diva-like, because they could put Dak on that same pedestal and be like, he is God. That could happen. So do you think he has retooled his brain enough to deal with that type of personality in that locker room? And he needs Witten there to balance it out a little bit, so you'd hope
I think
Witten
Witten
stays?
would help.
Okay.
But if Witten wasn't there, I still think the people that he's putting around him and the team that he has, because they're all pretty young, especially at the star positions.
Right.
I think that it can't get any worse. Let's put it that way.
Well,
we
he
can make the
got- he
playoffs.
got
and
rid
we
of-
have
I think
top
he'd get
five.
worse.
He got rid of all of Garrett's guys, and
They're
he's
all
bringing in
except they kept the offensive coordinator.
Callan.
Right?
They kept
Kellen Moore.
But he ain't gonna be. He's just a tool with a clipboard.
You think it's all
McCarthy's
gonna come
be
from
doing
McCarthy?
Oh, without a doubt.
McCarthy.
There's no doubt.
Who do you think? What do you think Dallas needs to do then? Because Dak needs
I think
different
they did
weapons.
already.
You think he? But what about your wide receivers? You think
I think we had the number one offense. Why would I want to change?
you need? But you think Dez is saying he wants back now. Now that Garrett's gone,
Dez who?
would you want Dez Bryant back?
Oh, you don't even want Dez back?
No.
No.
No, he's been out of the league 2 years. And
Well, he had the Achilles tendon,
Right.
and that took almost a year and a half to
I don't see
heal.
anybody knocking down his door.
Why do you think that is? Do you think he's a cancer in the locker? Because to me, it was always strange that the Saints called on, whether it was a stunt move or not, that the Saints asked Antonio Brown to come in for a workout, but did not call Bryant back. That to me was always a weird move. Is Dez a problem in the locker room, you think, or do you think he really has some football left
I
in him?
think what he brings to the table isn't enough for McCarthy to put him on. I think he's got
As a
everybody
slant,
where
though,
he,
I thought he ran a beautiful
I think
slant
he would
route.
be a cancer
Okay.
to the younger players.
You
That's
think
why
so?
I think Witten should stay one more
Okay.
year, because he wants that ring. He
He
ain't
does.
gonna get it with the
He
Giants.
does want that ring. I don't know.
Did I say that loud enough?
Yeah. Listen, I think
Unless
you're-
they're playing the Patriots.
You definitely need to be drug tested. Because you think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win a ring with Jason Witten? All of a sudden, he's going to snap his finger and Mike McCarthy's going to
No,
win
I
a
didn't say they were
championship?
going to win. I said
You just
He
said he
wants-
wants to get.
with the
He
number
said he
one,
wants to.
Yeah,
with
but
the
there's no
number
way
one
that's gonna
offense
happen.
and the number 5 defense in the league,
there's
and not make the
no
playoffs.
way.
They were missing leadership. So bringing McCarthy in. could
And Jason
be-
Witten is young enough to win a championship with him?
He's saying
I
one
wouldn't say
more
one more
year.
year.
He's
He came
saying
back
one more
this year.
year.
But you think that
Listen,
they can
let me
happen
ask
in
you a
1
question.
year?
Why do you think he came out of retirement to come back?
Ah, listen,
Well,
had
he
the
was
itch.
horrible
He had
on
the itch.
ESPN.
Yeah, he was not a good announcer. He had the itch.
Okay, so because he came
But he
back
knew that offense.
because
Was he gonna learn a
thought
new
he had
offense?
a good shot to get a ring.
and he was.
Wow.
He's hungry.
But the
He's
shot
Whitney
is
is
still
hungry.
there.
I give
Now
Whitney
with
But he's
credit.
not going to win it by
coach.
himself, and there's no way that he's going to snap his fingers, and all of a sudden, this Dallas Cowboys team that had a terrible leader is now going to win a
Do
championship.
you think Zeke not holding out, we're going to see more production out of Zeke coming out?
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna give him the ball a lot because that's.
That
But I mean,
offensive
just
line is filthy.
Because he took so much time off, you think that's really, we're going to really see Zeke? Because I don't feel like we saw much, what we could really see
Again,
potential-wise.
because of the play calling.
You think it was play calling. You don't
Absolutely.
feel that it was that time for his holdout for his contract.
No, he missed. How many players now do preseason? They mostly sit out anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think that makes a factor.
You don't think it makes a factor on a running back like that?
Nah.
When
I
you
think
see
it
the
saves him.
difference, like with Derrick Henry. I mean, when you look at his
He's
running style.
He's a runaway truck.
He's a beast.
But even his running style, if you look how his body mechanics change from the beginning of the season to the end, there's a huge difference in it. And
Yeah, but
just
his
from a
life
Casey
expectancy in the league is a lot shorter than any other running back, like a Zeke.
like a Zeke. Okay, from
mean,
that being at
Zeke's-
250.
Right. He's gonna get pounded.
Oh, he's definitely going to
Pounded.
get pounded. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, the time it took him to really find his rhythm. It took him almost
Right.
half a season for him to get moving. Do you think Zeke just sitting out, you don't think that had anything to do
I
with it?
think
You
it
think it all
helped him.
came down
I
to
think it would
playing?
help him.
You think it helped him?
He wanted the ball and they weren't giving it to him.
So it was all play calling from Count. So you think McCarthy's going to change that? Mm-hmm. Okay.
and it's
All
going to
right,
happen
fair
in 1
enough.
year?
Why not? You got the team. He doesn't have to build anything. He's got the team. He's just got to guide him.
Look at Bill Belichick and his teams, and they have a system where you can take this player, you take that
Well,
player. I don't think that Mike
Belichick.
McCarthy is able. Well, yeah, well, listen, he can't beat us because but
Why not?
why not? What?
Go ahead. Can you say that?
I don't think
Say
Mike
that
McCarthy.
out loud again.
Mike McCarthy, did he win with the Green Bay Packers in his first year?
He won a Super Bowl.
In his first year?
No. Why?
I'm not saying he can't win a Super
because
Bowl.
he had to build a team.
Right, but
You
he's
don't
still
have to
gotta
build
build
a team now. He's got everything.
He's
right.
got to build a belief system. There's
He-
no way that he's going to come in there and all of a sudden this year they're going to win
I
the
think
Super
it's
Bowl.
going to take him. I think McCarthy, you're not going to see McCarthy's full potential with this team. I think it's going to take a year. I
Right.
think it's going to take a
And there's
season.
no way
make the
Jason-
playoffs.
Well, listen,
yeah.
I can make the playoffs. If me, you, and Danny were on a team right now in the NFC East, we could make the playoffs because it's a miserable division.
Because I think Ron Rivera is going to take almost
Yeah,
two
Washington's
seasons
got
before we
as
see
much chance.
anything
Yeah, Washington has as much chance as the
before-
Dallas Cowboys do.
before they're not abysmal.
Nah, they're miserable.
I think
the ownership on
Eagles are
those two
gonna-
teams. Yeah.
Mike, I knew you were always into competition, so I figured you had to mix it up here.
But Jerry Jones
These
is a
people
poison.
are hurt.
I think it's going to
Us
come down to
Giants
Dallas
fans
and the
are hurting.
Giants because I think the Eagles are going to crash and burn because it's the Eagles.
Redskins are just doomed.
The
for
Red-
failure.
the Redskins are just-
I wouldn't. I mean, the Eagles. Well, whatever. I don't like them either. So.
The Eagles, it's what they are. I mean, we see a flash of great. I mean, unfortunately, forgive me for saying this, it's a little bit like the Giants. We see flashes of greatness and then boom, and then it's mediocrity.
Like Jim Fossil years, there's how many games in a row could we win?
Yeah, and then
Get our hopes up. And,
yeah. But with the Eagles, it's the same thing. We see where we're like, you know what? They might not be. Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The Skins, it's the Skins. I mean, Snyder's just taking that team and running it to the ground. So we're not going to see,
Same thing
it's
Jerry
the
Jones
NFC
is doing
East.
to the Cowboys. I think Jerry Jones is your biggest problem.
Without a doubt.
Oh, he's Satan's lapdog.
Absolutely. That's why. And I'm not saying that.
He's petting a hairless
Without
cat
a
right now,
doubt.
sitting
Yeah.
in a half egg chair.
But I think
That's what he does.
more and more his son is in his ear, and I think.
You
more
think
and more
he's any better than?
Well, They were going to draft. What's his name?
I don't know what's his name.
The quarterback that from Jerry Jones wanted. What was his name? The kid that went off the deep end.
Manziel.
Yes.
Oh yes.
He wanted him. His son said
No.
And who
no.
they draft?
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
The offensive lineman
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Martin.
I think
And
they
that's
said they
it.
were even
They
looking
got a great
at
offensive
Tua
line.
now.
Oh really?
Yep.
Oh. Listen, I don't think you're ever going to Tua Tagovailoa. He's phenomenal. I think he's going to be great.
With that hip injury, I
But
mean,
you're never
he's
gonna
one of those
see-
one that's either it's going to be wow, that was a great
Right.
wow, how did you wind up with him? Like somebody took a risk on him,
Yeah.
or not?
You're never going to
Tua's
see a
gonna
chip
be one of
with
those.
Jerry Jones as your owner. I'm telling you that right now. You will never see a
we
chip
got
as Jerry.
three.
Not as Jerry Jones. Was Jerry Jones the owner?
Of course. What
All right then.
Yeah.
He's
But Jerry-
he's
Emmitt
senile.
Smith, he owned-
Jerry
Yeah,
wants to
you're
put a
right,
helmet
you're right.
on and go
Yeah.
running out
But
there.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's
Well,
senile.
he-
I think he's lost his mind.
He hired Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy
Johnson was,
and the trade.
But he let Jimmy Johnson do what he wanted.
Jimmy
He
Johnson's
did 2 years.
hair is his helmet, for God's sake.
Jimmy Johnson was a brilliant
Christ.
coach. Jerry Jones let him do what he wanted. He never gave that.
So why can't
is
he
he
do
going to let
that
that to do? Is he? I don't know.
Well, he doesn't have
He's
to
old and
because the
senile.
team's already set. He's just got to coach him. That's
We'll
it.
see. I guess we'll see.
So,
Yes,
Mike,
we will.
you're comfortable with the quarterback, the young guy? You're
Yeah, I
comfortable
think
with
he's
what he's
got
got?
the money he wants, but I'm comfortable with him.
He's got the guns out there to do
I
what
think
he's got to
good.
do.
He's proved himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's
Kellen
got to
Moore-
stop
you're saying
making
Kellen
sleep
Moore's a
number
great
commercials
offensive
for his
coordinator.
bed. But yeah, you
No,
know.
Kellen
Okay.
Moore's going to be held on the clipboard.
Okay.
You watch.
But who's going to tell him what to do? McCarthy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it looks good for the
Until the town turns
Cowboys.
on.
I'm a lot more confident than they are.
Well, we're getting some of the Cowboys.
Gotta play the game first,
coming
don't you?
aboard, you know? What do you think on Garrett? I mean,
Listen, I was always happy to see him on the other sideline. I'm not going to lie, but
Okay.
you know, it comes down to it's the head coach delegating
well,
responsibilities.
wait a minute, Rob. Back up. Happy to see him on the other sideline.
Right, me not for my team.
Before Mike got here, you were telling me what a rivalry is with the Cowboys because they keep beating.
I
the
was happy.
Giants.
Well, that was only the last 3 years, 6 games. Yes,
Yeah.
that's because Giants didn't field a good enough team to beat the Cowboys. And we just, I mean, how many times in those rivalries were we up? I mean, the first couple of times we
Until
were
that
winning.
damn black cat
Yeah,
came
that's
running
it. That black
across.
freaking
That
cat.
black cat.
There was 2 games that we should have won in the
Damn
past
it.
3 years, 6 games.
That black cat.
Yeah,
But I think
Lucky.
J.K. Garrett is a miserable head coach, and he didn't have he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do because Jerry Jones was micromanaging him.
Wait, did you just say he's a miserable head coach?
Head coach, yes.
Who?
Jason Garrett.
Okay.
I think Jason Garrett was a terrible head coach. I'm reiterating
No,
what you
right,
said
right.
too.
How long was he there, Mike?
Too long.
7 years, I think. 7. Wow.
Yeah, he was there for a
10?
while. I thought he was there
I didn't
longer.
realize
Yeah.
that.
When they fired Phillips,
Yeah, Wade Phillips.
he took over.
Yeah.
8 years. 7 or 8 years. I
didn't
don't know why
realize
that's
that.
ringing a bell.
Wow. I did not realize that.
I think though Garrett could wind up being calming for Judge, because I think having somebody who's been through this
Well, I agree
might
with
not
that.
be a bad thing
Yeah.
for him,
That might help.
because it might be something
Yeah, because
nice.
he's got experience
But you
behind
don't
him.
have the players. Let's see who you
And
draft.
let's not forget, Garrett
Didn't
also
say we
had
did.
season tickets for the Giants.
Jason Garrett's a big Giants
So,
fan.
yeah.
He's also a product of the Giants.
And he wanted
so,
to be part of
Right,
the Giants
yeah.
when we were going to off
Right.
Coughlin years ago.
Right.
So
is the
it
worst
might not be a
decision.
bad thing
agree
that
with
he's
you.
here. He might be happy to be here.
Totally
So
agree with you.
Okay, well,
let's just wait and see.
at least based
Jury's
on what
out.
Mike said, he's got experience. 8 years. Is
He's
a
got
lot of
experience. Listen, he's got
experience.
He was
And-
also he was a quarterback in the NFL for the
Yeah,
you know,
he
so
was a backup
He was
coordinator.
a backup quarterback for
Back
us.
for the Giants.
Go
He was with Cowboys too.
before that.
Who?
When they won, he's got 3 rings.
Wow.
Not as a starter quarterback.
He was Aikman's backup.
Yeah,
No
as a
kidding.
backup. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
One of your best players are usually backup players.
Wow.
That's absolutely true. That's true with any sport.
He
you know, it's
finished
the guys
right
that
after Aikman got that concussion
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
the 49ers. And
Wow.
yeah, Aikman had
It's
a
a bad-
He
horrible
won the
concussion.
Thanksgiving game against Green Bay. Jason Garrett.
Wow.
Nah, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Didn't realize
So-
that.
Yeah,
then
no, I
when he
knew.
got,
Yeah.
then when he, you know,
But he was the understudy. That's the
then he
thing.
went
Is
to the
that's
Giants.
yeah. He was.
Not a bad thing.
He was
though.
not the
But
belle
he
of the
knows-
ball.
He also knows the pressures.
Right.
Which I think
Right.
is key.
Which is
You
And
gotta
I
get
think-
experience.
You know,
yeah.
I don't know how.
when
well
you take it down to an
really
offensive
experience.
coordinator and you're going from a head coach, a lot of people see that as it's such a
You're
demotion.
downsizing, yeah.
But sometimes it's nice to not have that much pressure either.
Look at Spagnuolo. You said the same thing.
Same-
He couldn't
Spags-
do anything with the friggin' Rams.
Well,
now
and
look
he
at
had
that.
Seahorn.
And he had Seahorn for
And
Christ's
Seahorn
sake.
had left and
Yes.
had gone to there. And
But now look what he's doing with the Chiefs. That was a joke. That defense was a joke. Now
And
they're in
look
the
at
Super
what he's
Bowl.
doing.
Oh my God. He's doing.
it's
he's
funny because-
brilliant. And second half adjustments. He's making
He's-
better second half adjustments than
anybody else.
ever.
So I think, and I
Be a
wouldn't
good game
be,
on Sunday.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if he actually went back after Eric Berry.
I don't think. Oh, Eric Berry, absolutely.
I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised
absolutely.
if
Yep.
Spags turned
Yep.
back around and said, you know what, bring him back
I agree.
this way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he does remember players that have been good to him.
I agree.
He's been very good, and like I said, he wanted Honey Badger.
Yeah, and
he
would've
had
been
wanted
right.
him when he was back when he
would've
was
been
with
right
the
for that.
Giants.
Love Honey Badger. Yep.
And
Yeah,
I think he's
what
going to
I've
be an
just
X
learned
factor.
here from Mike is is a little bit more about Garrett.
Yeah.
That maybe this is going to be a good position.
Ah,
for
yeah,
him
That's why I
to
wouldn't.
do his thing.
Back
I'm
to your
not
point
judging him
about
yet.
Witten, I wouldn't be surprised if the rumor has some foundation, some merit that he wants to follow him. But I still think Witten wants to go out as a Cowboy. I think
do
he
I.
does.
Yeah.
I
It
you
says
know,
a lot about. I mean, listen. If he was my tight end, I would like him.
I wouldn't want him to leave. I don't think.
I would like him.
We
You
have
know.
some pretty good tight ends on our team now too. So I think he'd be great for the locker room. I think
I don't think he wants to.
Give him one more year.
The reason
Good
why I
for the
think
team all around.
He's a good leader.
He'd be like the second
Old guy in a
tight end,
wheelchair. Yeah.
assistant coach.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think the Giants would like him for Evan Ingram. To figure out what because
Evan Ingram has so much potential.
Yeah, but he's fragile like a China doll.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, Mike, are Cowboys fans as passionate as our two Giants?
Have you ever been to Dallas?
Yeah, Cowboys fans are
They're
pretty.
out of
Yeah.
their minds.
Yeah, they're just
They
they've been.
They don't do it on Sunday. They do it from Friday on.
Yep.
Because they got Friday night lights, which the high school teams is big down there, and then you get your college, but the party starts on Friday, goes all the way to Sunday.
Those two.
Yeah, but I never hear anything about them when they're losing. Yeah, how about them Cowboys? It's always how about them Cowboys when they're winning. What is that when they're losing? They're nothing. And listen, we all take a bite of humble pie, don't we? I mean, but when they're losing, we just talked about Dave Brown, you know, and yeah, my goodness,
They got the butt fumble for guys.
Yeah, they got the butt
and
fumble.
they got to. But you know what? At
Could
least
be worse.
Romo
Could
is
be
good
Jet
in the
it could be Jet
broadcast
fans.
booth.
It could all be Jets fans.
Because they'll never win
Or
ever.
Redskins. I mean, I don't think that's the thing. The same thing. I don't get. Ron Rivera's a great. I don't know, man. That owner.
Schneider's driving
Schneider.
he's driving
This
that
guy
whole
right into the-
franchise into the
Yep.
ground.
And I think Jerry Jones is the same thing. He's getting seed out. He's getting
Jerry
old.
Jones, for as much as being Satan's lapdog,
Yeah.
he is not that
As
bad.
Daniel Snyder. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
He's,
to
he
win.
might be the
He
trifecta
does
hero,
want to win.
but
He's got his kids around him, and they
If
seem
that-
to be pretty smart.
If he's gonna succeed and he's gonna kind of push it off to his kids, maybe
Hey,
there's something to worry
How many
about.
years did Steinbrenner do before he decided to listen to his people?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
True.
they
That's
were.
true.
Sooner or
They
later.
were in a dump. They were in a dump for
Yeah,
years. I mean,
that's
that
a
was
dumpster fire.
Oh,
How do you pitch it no hitter and
80s.
lose?
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yep, the 80s. I suffered the 80s. with
terrible.
the Yankees.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Got
we
rid
could
of
be
all
Jets.
young talent.
That's a good
Bobby
point.
Mitchum
We could be
and-
Jets
yeah,
fans.
yep.
That could be the worst.
Yeah,
We
so
could be
it's-
Jets fans.
So to finalize this, Mike, what's your prediction? You got good team Dallas this year coming?
Oh, yeah.
He's not
Yeah,
worried
good.
at all.
Good.
Do I look worried?
Confident?
You don't look worried.
How about you, Rob?
again,
What
I
do
wasn't
you
worried
think?
when
Do I think Dallas?
For Dallas.
I don't think they're gonna have. I think it's gonna be a vast improvement throughout the years. I don't think it's gonna happen right away. I really don't. I think that offensive line does not lie. I think that you got the best offensive line in football.
Wow.
I think Ezekiel Elliott he's got another couple years
Didn't we
left
pick up
before
their
he gets
offensive
back.
line
A
coach,
couple
though?
of years.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
I believe we picked up their offensive line coach.
I would like to pick up their
Thank
offensive
you.
line as well, but yeah.
I'd like to pick up a offensive
Yeah,
line.
give me anyone.
Okay?
Yeah,
I'd
give me
just
anyone.
like to
yeah.
pick up an
I
offensive
don't think
line.
Dallas is going to be nearly as good as you think it is, but you got to play the games.
They'll be better than this year.
That's fine. Listen,
They'll be in the playoffs.
we'll see.
That's his
And
prediction.
And it's everybody's game from there.
That's not a bold prediction whatsoever because there's not too much talent in the NFC East just yet. So
We're getting there.
we're getting there.
We're getting there.
I'm not. Listen, I think
Let's see what happens.
Giants are gonna be worse before we get better. I mean, it is
Yeah,
what
well,
it is,
that's how
you
it
know?
works.
Well, we were pretty bad.
Really,
But it's.
Let's call it what it is. That's how it works.
Yeah.
We're pretty bad, but, you know.
I felt really good last year.
Before Mike came
No,
on.
2 years
we,
ago, not this past year. 2 years ago.
Last year I called it. I said it wasn't going to be
Really?
that good. Yeah, I said
I
it
thought
wasn't
we
going to
had
be
it
that good.
last year.
Oh, really?
I did.
Oh, no.
That when we lost to Jacksonville in the first week, I was so sure that the Giants were gonna guaranteed playoff team 12-4,
Oh,
and then
no,
they got
no, I
whooped
knew
by
that,
Jacksonville.
yeah.
It's like, well, I guess not. Yeah.
No, I knew
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No, I called that.
Listen, Ed,
Okay.
I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, Dan. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Mike, before you came on, we were talking final word. We were talking about the way Eli went out. What do you think? I mean, class act.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And I can't stand a guy
Yeah.
because he beat that year. We should have went when you guys won the Super Bowl and you beat us. 21-17.
I remember.
Yeah.
That was our year at that time.
Wow.
No, it obviously wasn't.
And
'cause
I
we-
kept saying, he's so lucky, he's so lucky, he's so lucky. And I'm please. But I really felt bad the way they screwed him last year by breaking his streak.
Oh, that was horrible.
he took
that
McAdoo,
McAdoo.
there should be a hit out.
McAdoo. Don't.
The
Yeah.
Giants more than that.
Geno Smith, really?
And then Geno Smith, a man who
And
gets
then
his
put him
jaw
back in.
broken in the locker room.
And
for
then,
pissing people
then
off.
put him back in. They
Then put him back in.
totally disrespected
Destroy
him.
I
his
feel like
streak,
there
yeah.
should be an
If I was
asterisk.
him, but he's a click. Well, he comes from a classy family.
Yeah, well,
All of them.
Eli got that first win in that new stadium, man. That's gotta hurt. That's gonna hurt forever. You're gonna need to build a new
But
stadium
they
just
so
to get over that.
disrespected him.
Yeah,
They did.
Yeah.
They
That's on
did
your
disrespect him.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm
you-
tired of
Terrible.
it. I know Mr. Tish because he comes to the shows a lot, and I don't know Damaris, but they're supposed to be really family oriented, and he cried when he they screwed him.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
they
without a
should-
question.
they should have called
They
it-
let that happen.
Totally.
They let
But you know,
that
but
happen.
Eli
Felt like they
said
did
it.
to Tom
Yeah.
Landry and
They
when
let that
did- when the
happen.
Cowboys
Yeah.
did that to Landry.
They let
Right.
that happen.
But
I'm
Eli
bullshit.
always said, "Don't put me in just to keep the streak,
Yeah.
and then pull me out."
Right.
He said, "Either you want me to play or you don't." And once
Right.
again, that
So
goes
what was
for
with
Eli.
that? To Mike's point,
Who did they replace him with?
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Why?
Really?
Yeah.
Just so the Giants had an opportunity to go forward with a different quarterback if they wanted
Yeah.
to.
And they screwed him.
While
they could've
while
done-
Eli was hot?
In the middle of
Well,
No,
not that he
Eli
was
was-
hot,
But
but
he
that he never got hurt. He started every
Right.
game.
So-
Every single game
so
that he
you're
could have started.
trashing
Started.
Jerry Jones, right?
100%.
So my question to you is, why didn't they just let him play out the year and then release him?
Why would be?
Oh,
I
his
agree with you.
contract was
No
not
way. First of all, he had another year of making. He's the highest paid player in NFL history.
They
The
totally
highest paid player in NFL
Yeah.
history.
They
You're not
totally
going to
screwed
drop him and eat that contract.
Totally.
They screwed him.
If they love
They
him that
did.
much, why not?
Because Mara was trying to show McAdoo that he still had faith in
Right.
him, and he said, "It's your call."
Right.
And they called Eli in, and they.
Where is McAdoo now?
Exactly. I don't think McAdoo's family knew who McAdoo is. I think he asked people if he wants fries with that. Yeah.
Is he?
He's
no.
not anywhere in NFL.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He is on some
Really?
team.
Yeah,
But,
no,
like-
because Schumer's going to the Broncos, and McAdoo is. Yeah, McAdoo is playing.
Shermer's going to the Broncos. They didn't learn.
Yeah, I believe Schumer's going to the Broncos.
Offense coordinator.
Yeah, and McAdoo
Yes.
is. Yeah, no, McAdoo has a job. You would think they would have learned, but yeah, no. And once again, to Eli's credit, he handled it classy. He said he went into Mara's office and he said, "Do not put me in just to keep the streak alive.
Right.
If you're not going to let me keep playing, you want
Right.
to give
Right.
Smith
Right.
a shot.
Yeah, that happened.
Give him a shot."
Okay.
But
So-
it didn't matter. I mean, there was not. They weren't going to win anything that year.
All right. I want to just jump back a minute. I know Mike a long time. We go back to the old days. Mike used to train me. Mike did awesome spin classes. 96, I think that started, Mike.
Long time ago.
And we went to another gym where we did some management work. He's always been in fitness, always been in shows. What are you doing these days, Mike? You're now working for Radio City? or?
I'm supervisor security at Radio City, MSG. I work for MSG.
Is that what you meant by the people that you see there?
Yeah, we just finished up the Christmas run, the spectacular, and we get all sorts of people, and Tish comes every year.
Every year.
The
Wow.
owner, every year. Nice guy.
Yeah?
Really
yeah.
nice guy. Comes with his family.
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Weren't you also the Billy Joel concerts every?
Yeah, I
every-
do security.
Last night he was there, yeah.
I've been with Billy Joel for 9 years now.
And he's playing every month.
Once a month.
Is he selling out? Every?
This is our 7th year.
Yeah,
Sells out
I saw
every-
him when he did his
Yeah,
first one.
amazing.
That's awesome.
We
Amazing.
had Bon Jovi last night as a guest.
Oh, is that who that was?
Concert was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to every one
He opened up for the Giants one year for
Yes,
our
yes,
season.
yes.
every one of Billy's concerts, and you never get tired. Never.
Yeah,
Same
I
song.
agree.
Never get tired.
Same. He follows the same.
No,
Not
he
the same
switches
set.
it
Like
up.
he just keeps
But you came to.
I've been there. Yeah, absolutely.
every month he switches.
Yeah. Yep.
Genre?
And this
Just-
was we started our 7th year, sold out. So we're on. This is our 75th show in a row.
Wow. That's
Wow.
fantastic.
So I got a job once a month.
That's fantastic. No, that's really.
Just as long as it's not on a Sunday when the Cowboys are playing, right?
Oh no, I watch it on my phone.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
And
money's
that's a
money.
band.
Yeah, money's
and
money,
that's
yeah.
a band.
Oh, I got my AirPod in. I got the game going.
That's a
Yeah,
band.
Mike,
Even in the summer when the Yankees are playing, AirPod.
Yeah. Mike, when we started off, we had Rob bring some food where we'll dabble with Super Bowl parties, tailgating, trying to get a feel for eating. You always had a specific diet, a specific eating, and do you still work out all the time? You
Every
still
day. I
pump
came
it
from
right
the
now?
gym.
It's just it always amazed me.
Every day.
What he used to do to my body in the gym was painful. But food, what are you eating? Like, can you eat the
I don't eat
chicken
meat.
wing
I don't eat meat anymore.
anymore?
I don't eat meat anymore. I saw a documentary about a year ago called The Game Changer.
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You still eat meat?
I don't eat. I've been off red meat for almost for a while, for a long time.
Is that amazing?
Chicken is the only thing, and I'm working off of that. But I don't eat
Grass fed.
I don't eat fish. Nothing.
You don't eat fish?
I don't even eat fish.
Oh, see, I just
I
cut
can't
out
do
meats.
fish.
I eat fish.
So you eat
No, I
fish?
can't
I
do
eat
fish.
fish. I eat vegetables. I eat lentils. I eat beans.
Lentils,
You know, there's
huh?
more protein in that stuff than
I do.
Yeah.
chicken and meat.
I do.
I didn't know that.
In
A
lentils?
lot of the grains and lentils and a lot of those legumes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm allergic to shellfish, so that's part of it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't.
I haven't felt this good since I
Yeah.
became you know, I don't want to say vegetarian because I eat eggs, I eat
Okay.
cheese.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
vegetarian doesn't include eggs.
Right.
So
But
it's
I,
vegan, yeah.
I haven't felt this.
No turkey?
I had high
Mike?
blood pressure. I'm off pills now.
So you're off.
Really?
Wow.
They took me off pills.
Wow.
Dropped weight. I might even go back to competing. Who knows?
No,
Game Changer
no
was
turkey?
amazing.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Game Changer was amazing.
It
though.
was.
Yeah,
It
it
was.
really was.
And if you-
Vice had another special about how they do cattle, and that'll scare you out of
So
it
what
too.
about the guy? First of all, the 3 wide receivers from the Dolphins when they
Yes.
gave them burritos and they spin their blood.
Yeah.
Who was the one that came out clear?
Yep.
The vegetarian.
Yeah.
And then all the Olympic athletes that were skeptical, and then all their numbers went
And
up.
all their numbers went up. Yeah.
And then the best was the guy that said, "Did you ever see what an ox eats?
What's that?
An ox.
Chris.
You don't eat meat.
Yeah.
You ever see a gorilla?
Yeah.
What does
Same
he eat?
thing. Yep.
Trees, shrubs.
Yep.
That's it?
They
It
don't eat meat.
was-
Look
yeah.
at the size of it.
Yeah,
Game
that's
Changers
amazing.
was amazing. It,
Yeah.
it really was. And that when I hurt my hamstring, I tore it from the insertion, and I went and saw 2 doctors, and one said your career's over as a martial artist. It's done. We have to do surgery. I went and I saw a Chinese medicine doctor, and he said, first thing was get off red meat and start drinking pineapple juice, fresh squeezed pineapple juice.
That was the documentary about the guy that
Yeah.
did
And
the
I followed the
documentary
Chinese, and I
was
did
an
not.
MMA fighter, and he tore both his knees, and he would just try to get back
Didn't
as
need
fast as
surgery.
he could.
Right.
And he stumbled upon this, and then he looked into a diet, how to get quicker, faster.
Yeah.
The rope thing that he did, that he
Yes.
broke the record,
Yeah.
just blew me away.
Yeah. It's really amazing though.
Well, you're not helping my business whatsoever, Mike Longo. So
Oh, the beauty
the hell with your Giants and the hell with your diet, all right? The hell with your Cowboys and the hell with
we
your
learned a lot from
Everybody knows that you're the chef. You're the chef of your own thing, please.
Exactly. He can't hide from that.
No, I mean,
Did you
good
see?
at what you do.
Did you get to see the picture of him with Gronk? He looked like a little boy.
See it? Yeah, that's right.
He looked like
Yeah,
a
no, I
little
saw
boy.
it.
He's
I saw it.
he's a
Yeah,
big
it
boy.
was great. It was
He's a
great.
big boy.
Well, thanks, Mike. I really want to thank you for coming on
it's
because,
my
as you can see, it's all Giants
Yeah.
here.
You're outnumbered here, man.
But
Buddy's a Yankee fan, so it's all right. Yeah.
But what I do have that you might appreciate, the old stadium where I played where the Cowboys, Texas Stadium.
Texas Stadium,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was my memento, from
Really?
those days. Yeah, my jersey,
that's cool.
my number. It was awesome because when we played it was the dome. I don't know how it is now, but it was an open dome, the original stadium. And I have pictures. We could not see the lines. It snowed so hard
In Dallas.
in Dallas.
They said that was God was looking down on the team. That's why they were America's team.
There you go.
With the whole. Have you been to the new stadium?
No, but is it still an open dome?
Nope.
It's closed.
Yeah.
I was always wondering what that dome was because it was snowing and we
So-
couldn't see what we were doing.
At Radio City, we had the biggest TV screen because it's the whole of the stage. But now,
Yeah, Dallas has it.
yeah, thank you very much.
Wow.
And it's bright. This is beautiful.
And I told Tish that too.
Yeah, but how many times does it block the kick? Right? Kick goes up.
What I
100
enjoyed about it most was jogging their field. I have pictures here on this wall of our whole team. You see the snow? That's how much snow was on the ground. I was 40 years old. It was at the end of our flag football. We were second in the country. But
Really?
getting to play in the stadium, riding their spin bike. Mike, they had the exact spin bike
No, I
we
went.
started
I
on.
took the tour. I was on the field.
Yeah, the
Came
spin
on
bike
Cowboy
was
fan.
on the side. It was
My
awesome.
kids go to Dallas now.
And then I heard they had torn that stadium down and built
yeah.
another one. But,
It's a mall now.
Okay.
In
So,
Irving.
real quick, who you going for Sunday?
Well, if you think I'm going for the 49ers, you're out of your mind. So I'm going for Kansas City.
Why is that?
First of all, I think Mahomes is probably going to be, if not now, one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Is it because of his running
His
game?
rookie year, he broke the touchdown record,
know.
and this year didn't stop.
Yep.
If he
Yeah.
stays healthy, he
He
could be
stays
one of the
healthy.
best.
Yeah.
He could be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I know
Amazing.
that's way down
No,
the road.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
he's.
But
I think
and
he's got
doing.
something to him.
somehow, I mean, San Francisco, they had a dominant year this year, but I don't know. I just think Kansas City.
I think that kid's gonna do
I
it.
think he's going
He
to light up
is.
the offense.
How about
Now, I don't think San Francisco's offense does nothing for me. Because you can
I
stop
don't
the
know.
run.
Jimmy
He threw
Garoppolo's
8
yeah.
passes.
He's got to
Great
get.
pass.
No, listen. I'm on the same page as you. I think Steve Spagnuolo is going to be the difference. He's gonna be
Kansas City's defense got. I'm sorry to
Steve
interrupt.
Spagnuolo.
Kansas City, the defense got better and better as the years got on.
Steve
as the-
Spagnuolo.
as the year went on.
He was the ex-defensive
No,
coordinator
I know.
for the Giants,
He's
and that's going to
trying-
be the reason that Kansas City wins.
Oh, because the Giants. Okay.
Because of Steve Spagnuolo.
I don't know.
see how Rob always slips the Giants?
Oh,
in there?
oh.
And
That's
I
the way he does
appreciate it, but I don't know. My Chiweenie is picking Kansas City, but Carlos is my Yorkie is picking San Francisco.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about you, Rob? Which one?
Listen, I wanted to drop Spagnuolo. My heart of hearts, I think San Francisco takes it because of their defense. But I want to see I'm rooting for
Horsemen.
Spagnuolo. I'm rooting for Spagnuolo.
Yeah, me too. How about you, Danny?
I'm torn.
Forget Carlos. What are you
No,
doing?
I think the Four Horsemen, that pass rush
They're so
on
good.
San Francisco.
That defense is filthy, yeah.
I've nicknamed those guys the Four Horsemen,
Yeah,
and I'm
they're
going
filthy.
with them. I'm thinking the 49ers might take it, but I got to say, Mahomes, you just
Don't
can't
sleep
count
on
him out.
Mahomes, yeah.
No, Mahomes.
No, he's
is-
consistent.
he's the predator, man.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the few quarterbacks that actually likes being down in the first quarter.
Yeah,
because I think he sits back and that's where he learns the most about his opponent. I think he likes to sit back and just watch. I really think he
Where do you
enjoys
think that
it.
came from? His college years? Was he big?
No, I just think I think that's what he's just.
He just learns to see.
Yeah,
See,
I
I
think
think
he
I'm
likes
giving
it.
Spagnuolo the credit for the second half adjustments because if you look, the last 2
I would
weeks,
give that to Spags.
the
but
last 2 weeks,
Mahomes,
Houston and whoever they Tennessee,
the
they
Titans.
beat the crap out of them in the first half. All of a sudden, they close it down. Steve Spagnuolo.
But a lot of that, if you watch
is
Mahomes,
Mahomes.
watching
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
he figures
Yeah,
them
he
out,
does.
and he likes that. He
He
likes
does.
to just sit back, and like I said, I still go back to that Lamar Jackson comparison. When Tennessee was kicking their ass, Lamar looked like I have to
Deer in
figure out
headlights.
how I'm gonna win.
Yeah, deer
and
in
it was
headlights.
all him.
Yep.
To whereas Mahomes is like, now I'm gonna figure out how we're gonna win.
Yeah, I like it.
Right.
And
I
that's
see
a
that
big
in
difference in him.
Yeah, I agree.
He enjoys it.
I see that.
And I think he likes the challenge and he likes ratcheting up his game. There are teams, unfortunately Giants are one of them, who play down to the opponent.
Yeah.
KC likes to figure you out and then ratchet it up to
Yeah, the last 2 weeks
demolish
have
you.
been so
I don't
impressive.
think San Francisco could put up with the speed of Kansas City.
The defense is pretty
Well, the
good.
Cheetah
I think
is-
it's
I
gonna
think
be
you're right.
close.
The Cheetah
Could be
is
close.
good, and
It
now
is.
you got.
They
you
got to
know,
adjust to that.
They got
Listen,
speedy
yeah,
wide receivers.
Yeah, they do.
They got-
If they can get to Mahomes,
listen.
who can get to Mahomes? Nobody
They were
gets to
one
Mahomes.
play away of being a
He's-
wild card.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Seattle
These
Seattle,
guys
yep.
might.
Right.
These
right, that's a
guys,
good
but they
point,
haven't.
right.
Yeah.
They haven't faced a pass rush like these
that.
guys.
That's what I agree with.
Both
It's going to be a good
these
game.
guys-
It's going to be. Joey
yeah.
Bosa's good.
Yeah, we want to actually.
gonna be a good game.
We're talking, Danny and I are talking about doing a wrap up after the game because it would be good to see
Right.
exactly what we're talking about, what the outcome is.
Right.
Mike, ever seen a quarterback like Mahomes in your day?
Let's see. You could go back to Fran Tarkenton.
Wow.
You're going to give him that kind of.
Vikings? What was Fran talking about? Vikings, yeah.
You want to go? Maybe you can go to some of the early scramblers and move. Maybe you go Dante Culpepper if you want to go that.
yeah.
You know, maybe you're going that. I see maybe a little McNair, but that's
Scott, believe
Michael
it or not,
Vick,
you
yeah.
know I'm going to say it's going to piss you off.
I know what you're going to say.
He's got a lot of Tony Romo in him.
Yeah. He does.
Tony Romo was the smartest
He
football
was,
player.
yeah.
I love
That's
watching
why I
him
said
as an
that.
I
announcer,
love
man.
Tony
You're right,
Romo
Mike.
as
If
broadcaster.
Tony Romo had a body and an ability to throw,
And a team.
oh my god, no. If he had, he's lacking.
know who I
He's
see?
got up here. He doesn't have here.
this, and I know you both are gonna think I'm crazy. A little Chad Pennington, smart wise.
Oh, I disagree. Chad Pennington was brilliant.
He was.
Chad
But same thing, he
Pennington
didn't have the mechanics.
arm.
But he was a
Did
backup.
not have the arm.
No,
No,
Chad
no,
Pennington
Chad
was.
Pennington
was-
Chad Pennington
No,
was
he
the
was the
guy.
quarterback for the
He
Giants.
was the guy.
Yeah.
Chad Pennington was the
I thought he was a
quarterback.
backup, and then
2000,
then he
2001.
came up. He had to. No.
Chad
Okay.
Pennington
Yeah.
had great leadership,
Yeah.
but he
He was
did
just
not
the
have
wrong
the arm.
organization.
Oh.
But
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the
smarts-wise-
Jets quarterback that took over. Huh?
Smarts wise, Pennington had it, and I
got
see
the
a
arm.
little.
He's got
But
the
what the
brains.
thing
He's
that
got
gets
every- he's
Mahomes
the
going,
complete
those
package.
those eyes. When he's looking over here and throws over here, it still throws you off.
Yeah.
and he scrambles.
It's got a lot of Brett Favre in him too.
Yeah.
Only more accurate.
Yeah, that's Brett
But
Favre.
that's Aaron. I also see. You know,
Aaron
you can
Rodgers,
see Aaron Rodgers' mentorship.
He's not Joe Montana or Staubach or any of them.
No,
Mike,
he's
I'm
not
gonna
Bart Starr.
wrap us up
Bart-
here because
Bart
I
Starr.
see these guys could go all day with
Yeah.
this, and time is of the essence. I want to thank you guys for coming aboard. Our
Thanks
chef,
for having us, man.
our Chef Rob, who is our sponsor, and I also want to say, Mike from Absolute Motion, thank you for what you do. Dani, our host, and we'll pick
Denise.
this up. And of course, we got to say Denise, because without Denise,
This wouldn't be happening.
you know, we all would be shiny.
Yes.
Some more than others.
Denise is our makeup artist, Denise Apostle. So I want to thank all of you actually today for coming aboard. Have a great one. We'll see you after the Super Bowl.